This is Vince Russo, and you're listening to the Interactive Interview.
Interactive Wrestling Radio. Daniel Edler, and our special guest today is the Tennessee Cowboy, James Storm.
Hey there, James. How are you doing today?
Good. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. Doing good, thanks. Okay, let's launch in with the first question. Got loads of questions sent in for you. Got about 7 or 8 brilliant ones from the chat forums, but we'll start from the very beginning. Were you a fan of wrestling growing up, and did you always want to become involved in the business?
Growing up, I always wanted to be a professional wrestler. My big influences growing up were Hulk Hogan and especially Bret Hart. I loved watching Bret Hart wrestle. And, as I got older, especially when I got into the wrestling, and I appreciated him more as the wrestling side, what all goes on in the wrestling ring,
Did Hogan or Bret Hart's style of working influence the way you work in the ring today?
Bret Hart does. I like the way he works a lot in the ring, carries his stuff in the ring. He can tell a really good story in the ring, and I think that's what wrestling is starting to miss these days.
Mm-hmm. Who helped to train you?
Who trained me?
Yeah.
Actually, Slash.
Really? I was reading on your website that you said you broke your shoulder while you were training or while you were just breaking in. Is there a story behind that?
Yeah. When I was starting to train, it's probably about a month and a half when I was in training, and I went to take a clothesline bump, slip all the way over, and I didn't make it all the way, and I landed on my shoulder and broke it with a compound fracture. So it wasn't good at all.
That didn't.
For a whole year, I couldn't even move my shoulder, and then once I got better, I started retraining and everything again.
Did you ever second guess your choice to go into the business, or?
No, not at all. Like I said, it's what I always wanted to do, and nothing's going to stop me, not even that.
When you were being trained by Slash, but did anybody else trained with you? Did anybody else that we might know break into the business at the same time as you?
No, actually, I was the only guy that made it out of that wrestling class.
Wow.
It was more of a shoot class than a wrestling class.
How did you get the name the Tennessee Cowboy?
I have no idea. I'm just a redneck from Tennessee, and I always walk around with a cowboy hat on, so they just call me the Tennessee Cowboy because there's not too many cowboys from Tennessee.
What were the indies like when you broke in?
Pay was really, really low, probably like it still is today, but I learned a whole lot on the independents, and that's what brought me to TNA now. I'm just learning a lot as different territories that I travel around to, and I just took every style that I learned and just put it all together.
How did you become involved with TNA?
Actually, the talent scouts were at the National Fairgrounds looking for talent, and that night me and Chris Harris, which is my partner now, had a match against each other, and they really liked it. So and they signed both of us the next day.
We talked to Chris Harris about 2 hours ago, and he was talking about you guys never really getting along before you guys became a tag team. Was the fact that you guys became a tag team something that you were looking forward to?
No, not at all. Like you said, we didn't care too much for each other before we teamed up. He's kind of the big city type, and like I said, I'm the old country guy. And but we get along. Our chemistry in the ring is very good. So I can't ask for any much more than that.
Was that surprising to you that you guys did gel as well as you did?
No, not really. I mean, if you take two good athletes and you put their egos aside, I think they can get along really good.
Go ahead, Dan.
There you go for it.
Okay. How was winning the NWA Tag Team titles? Was that like a dream come true?
It was, and even after we won them and got backstage with them, it still seemed unreal that we were holding the belts that other great tag teams have worn, like the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, and the Road Warriors. Mm-hmm. And it's just an honor just to have them belts. Like I said, it still seemed unreal when we got the belt.
Mm-hmm. When you first broke in, was you originally planning on being a tag team wrestler, or were you planning on being a solo superstar?
No, I planned on just being a singles wrestler throughout my career, but whatever it takes to make it, that's what I'm willing to do. And being a tag team with Chris. I mean, it's going really good so far, I think, and I'll continue to be tag team with him as long as I can.
Chris said that he'd prefer to be one of the tag team legends in the business, as opposed to going on and being a solo sort of mid-carder. Do you share that same sort of view?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. As me and Chris is, getting better as a tag team, our friendship is really close, and right now I don't think neither one of them see us splitting up, and because we're having so much fun in the ring and out of the ring being a tag team, and I wouldn't change that right now.
When Vince Russo came into the company, it seemed like you guys kind of dropped down in importance. Did you guys have an opinion of that?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. But just we did some R&B security up in WCW, and he never really paid attention to us and stuff. And then when he came back in, we was like, I don't think this would be good for us.
Oh.
But I mean, he's seen how we can wrestle and get over with the crowd, and so I mean, he enjoyed us. So, but I mean, I get along with him. Both of us get along with him really good right now. So I mean, it's all a team effort in TNA.
So who have been some of your favourite matches when you've been in TNA? Because you've had some brutal matches with New Church, and you've had some really technical matches. So what's been your favourite, would you say?
Actually, my favorite match so far would actually be when we won the tag team belts from the New Church, and also the match that I had singles with Slash. Them were two ranked up at the top.
What is your opinion of the ideas and views of Vince Russo these days?
I don't agree with it too much, just because I'm more of a traditional kind of guy. I don't believe in all the custom. If you give people a really good wrestling match, then they'll tune in to watch it, But, hey, whatever works, let it keep working.
What was your opinion of when they did what I think went too far, when they did the lollipop incident from a few weeks ago?
I didn't care too much for that at all. I mean, there's a bunch of little kids in the audience. I know if I had a little kid, going to see a wrestling show and that happened, I wouldn't bring him back at all. And that's what you have to pay attention to, too, is because the kids, they're going to grow up, and they'll want to bring their kids to a wrestling show, and hopefully they'll keep coming to TNA.
Dan, you want to film the next one?
Yeah, sure. With yourself and Chris being one of the top tag teams in TNA, who would you say is probably the best tag team overall, excluding yourself? And who do you feel possibly the most underused tag team at the moment?
Right now, I think before we came along, probably the best tag team. I don't know. I really like the. I mean, there's so many out there, But I mean, I have no idea. It's hard to choose from. But right now, I mean, I have no idea. I'm just having fun being a wrestler. It's hard to compare myself, especially with the other great tag teams, because it's unreal that that we are getting compared to the other tag teams and stuff.
What was your opinion and reflections back on your match with a couple of matches actually with the Rock and Roll Express?
When they told us that we was gonna work the Rock and Roll Express, we was like, you gotta be kidding, and because I mean, not because I mean they're legends to us. We grew up watching them too, and they're older, but they can still go and they can tell a great story, and I mean, it was a dream come true just for us to be able to wrestle with them guys.
If the WWE came knocking on your door tomorrow, what would you think, or what would you tell them?
I'd tell them thanks, but no thanks. I mean, the money would probably be better, but I'm having so much fun in WATNA, and I'd like to see this thing succeed, and I think that's how everybody in TNA feels right now. It's just a big team effort, and everybody is working together to make this thing work.
Excellent. Dan, do you have a question to ask?
Yeah. Since you've won the TNA Tag Team Championships, what future goals do you have? Where are you sort of setting your ballpark?
I like to go to Japan. Everybody says it's pretty cool over there, and hopefully me and Chris can go over there together as a tag team with the tag team belts. So I definitely want to go to Japan.
not to backtrack a little bit, but you mentioned that you did R&B security for WCW. I guess this was in the summer of 2000. My question for you is, when you signed the contract with WCW, was there any intentions of using you on camera?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I had a couple of matches on Worldwide or whatever, but I mean, I don't think they was really looking for something. And I mean, it's just funny how everything works out. Now I'm, one of the top tag teams in TNA right now, and that Vince Russo helps run.
Yeah. Did you have
you mentioned your training was sort of shoot fighting. Have you ever thought of going into the mixed martial art world or anything?
No, I'm not that flexible. I'm just a wrestler. I'm not a martial artist.
I was just going to ask you this: when WCW was sold, how did it affect you personally?
Personally, I mean, I thought that was my best opportunity was making it WCW, because I knew trying to make it in WWF would be very hard. And then when they went down, I just kept working, and then finally TNA came around, and then I worked even harder to get a spot with them, and so here I am today.
What are your future goals in the business?
Make as much money as I can.
We're going to close up with some word associations. We're going to just say a name or a name of a company, and we're going to get your opinion of it. Or you can say one word, or you can go on a rant. It doesn't really matter which way you want to do it.
Okay.
The first name is Chris Harris.
One tough SOB. He is one of the toughest guys I've ever wrestled.
Vince McMahon.
I never met him, so I don't know.
Jerry Jarrett.
Hell of a guy.
Jeff Jarrett.
Super nice. Good to get along with.
Slash.
No comment.
Kurt Hennig.
I like Kurt a lot. He helped me. He helped me out a lot during his last days.
Bret Hart.
I haven't met him, but to me, he is the superstar.
Randy Savage.
Beyond life, he's one of the characters, that you just can't touch.
Before we close up, we just want to thank you for this interview, and it was really great talking to you and Chris, and hope we'll be watching Wednesday night, and we'll continue to do our part as fans to promote TNA, and we just want to say on a personal level that I have infinite respect for everybody in that locker room, because
thank you guys very much.
To be a competition for the WWE says a lot to me, so I really appreciate that you guys are out there.
Just before we finish off, where can fans find out the latest information about James Storm?
You can go to www.cowboyjamesstorm.com.
Excellent.